What's up, guys? Kelly McKay here, aka HVAC Millionaire, right here on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, hit the like button, and leave me a comment below. Today I want to talk about CANI. This is something that I learned from Tony Robbins years ago, and it's an acronym for constant and never-ending improvement. And we have to adopt this in our lives and in our businesses because things change, like our goals change, our perspective changes, and so that means that, you know, as we go along and we continue to learn and observe and reflect and get results or not get results, that's all feedback for us, and that allows us to make a different decision to get more results that we'd actually like to have. And that's what constant and never-ending improvement is about. It's just about a mindset of, I'm going to continue to learn, I'm going to continue to grow, I'm going to continue to reflect on what I did and continue to observe and find out where I'm missing opportunities. And so that was a kind of a mantra that we adapted at our business, our HVAC business, which was just constant never-ending improvement. Part of that is done through, for one, through documents. So you might be to a point where it's like, I need some processes in place. I need something that I can give to my people that are just the way we do things, instead of just inherited ways we do things, or the things that we do is just in some, it's in our minds, but it's actually never been documented. So when you create those documents, my general manager always used to say it's a living document. And that's true. It's living because there's going to be certain circumstances and situations that come to the surface that make us realize that we've got to change this. We've got to tweak this. We've got to, maybe add this to it or remove this to it, depending on what it is, so that we be sure to do it the right way, the way that we've learned, through constant never-ending improvement, to make sure that it's done right the next time, so it doesn't bring up this challenge or these concerns or these worries. Because if we can fix that thing, those things go away, the bad things go away, and we get the results that we actually want. So CANI, C-A-N-I, constant never-ending improvement, is a great thing to base your business off of, as far as just the foundation. Just always be looking for things that can make you better. And when it comes to making you better at anything, for one, I'll just say real quick is that, all the fancy tools and stuff out there, and maybe a faster recovery machine and your digital gauges and all these things, they're great, and they can really improve the time spent on a job. They can definitely save you a bunch of time, which is always great because you're going to make more money. But it's not the best return on your investment. There's things in your business that we can all get better at, and we can all learn more about. And when those things, if we're not constantly out there on the lookout trying to find these things that are going to make us better, then there's a huge opportunity cost. Because if you don't change it now, then how much money is it going to cost you if you don't get it changed? And it could be, you could be oblivious to what that thing is. That's why your education is always going to be the number one thing that will have the best return on your investment. Year after year after year, those gauges are going to wear out. That recovery machine is going to wear out. You're going to have to buy new ones. Where your education doesn't wear out, you learn things that make a dramatic shift in your business, or in your personal life, or in your relationships, or in your sales, or in your leadership abilities. All of these things are going to have a constant stacking. Like, you get better, get better, get better. And sometimes, as long as you're putting in the effort, the external rewards from your growth may not always show up right away. And so I think that's what keeps people from continuing to push forward and continuing to learn, is because they're looking for that instant gratification. And we're in an instant gratification world, right? Everybody, like, when you purchase something on Amazon, you want it tomorrow. and half the time you get it tomorrow. Like, you want things now. And when you're learning, you don't always see those results immediately. But those results, the thing is they compound over time, and before you know it, you look back a year, you can look back last year compared to where you're at right now, and you're at a completely different place. And it's almost a blur, because you're like, how did I get here? Well, the way you got there was from your education. You learned and you started implementing things, and it changed your life. And before you know it, that compounding effect, it's like if you sit down and eat a bag of Cheetos, which I love Cheetos, I really like those jalapeno Cheetos, man. I'd sit down and devour one of those bags. And but if I do that over and over and over again, over time, I'm going to gain a bunch of weight. I'm not going to be as healthy as I'd like to be. And that's the thing about bad habits and the way we communicate in our relationships and the things that we're doing in our business, is not only do they keep us stuck, they can actually make us go backwards. So we have to continue to learn. We have to continue to grow. We have to continue to expand our minds and the possibilities and the knowledge that some of the stuff that we need to learn, we don't even realize we need to learn until it gets presented to us. And so having that thirst, like that insatiable thirst for knowledge, is going to always serve you. It's going to make you better. And when you get better, the people around you get better. When you get better, your relationships change, your bank accounts change, your businesses change. And so the more we can focus on our education, the bigger return on investment we'll always have. So that's one main thing that I wanted to talk about. I was watching an interview the other day on YouTube, and one of the things that the guy said, he was talking about ultra successful people. Probably, I think he was talking about billionaires. So one of the character traits that billionaires had were, number one, they have an overinflated sense of self, which is basically just a roundabout way of saying that they really believed in themselves. So they were optimistic about what they were capable of. They had a strong sense of belief in themselves. The second thing is, which is almost paradoxical, it's almost the complete opposite, is they felt inferior. They felt like they weren't quite enough. Or they had, he talked about them having maybe like a daddy complex when it comes to men, at least having a daddy complex where you're just trying to make your dad proud. And I think I had quite a bit of that, because I just wanted to make my dad proud. And so while growing my business, and but that inferiority, so let's expand on that a little bit. I think what that is you never feel like you know it all, for one. Never feeling like you know it all. So there's always more to learn. You're always trying to grab that next little nugget that can help turn things around or make things a lot better. So not being a know-it-all, that's going to create somebody who's coachable. So you have to have that. You have to be coachable. And even though it seems like a negative trait, like not quite feeling like you're good enough, will actually drive your success. It increases your ambition and your determination and your resilience and your resourcefulness. And so those are all positive qualities. So one negative quality, if you have that, where you don't quite feel like you're enough, can actually exponentially increase those other qualities that are really great qualities for somebody who, is on the path to being extremely successful, or whatever success looks like to you. I hate getting into the weeds of what success is. It's really per individual. It could just be, if you're a mom, and you're a great mom, then you're successful. If you're a business leader and your company makes money, then you're successful. There are all different spectrums of success, but it's really just whatever it is to you. So I just wanted to get that out there. So we have the third thing that he talked about as far as being successful, impulse control. So that has to do with controlling your emotions for one thing. It's really easy to get knocked off the tracks and act out of character when things don't go your way, especially in a business, and if you're stressed out in the business, or tired, or hungry, or feeling alone, or angry about anything. Like, it's easy to act out of character. So controlling those emotions, like EQ, emotional intelligence, is extremely and delayed gratification. That's another thing he's talking about when he talks about impulse control, is delayed gratification. Most of you guys have heard about, and I've talked about, the marshmallow test, that they tested these kids and said, here's one marshmallow, and if you wait for 10 or 15 minutes, whatever they said, wait for just a little bit, I'm going to come back and you can have 2 marshmallows. Or you can just eat the marshmallow now and only get the one. Well, the kids that were able to wait became more successful in life as they followed these kids as they grew up and in the study. And so impulse control has to do with not making emotional purchases, not making emotional, irrational decisions based on emotions only, without analytical thinking. And sometimes we have to give space and allow our brains time to just look at something from a different perspective. But if you don't do that, when it's, you could make a really poor decision that could affect your business, horribly, or it could affect your life horribly. So all of those 3 things are going to make you more successful. I mean, it's just been proven. There's a science to success, just like there's a science to earning money in business. There's a science to closing deals and getting more sales. There's science and psychology behind all of that stuff. And so back to your education. I can't stress enough that, and I've told you guys before, like, I've got a speaker, a waterproof speaker that hangs up in my shower. So I'm listening to a book every time I step in the shower. I wear my headphones, all the time, because I'm constantly listening to a book on Audible, or I'm watching an interview or listening to an interview on YouTube, just because I just want to learn. I'm really curious about the things that make humans tick, and why we do what we do, and why we behave the way we behave, and the way we think, and it's just very fascinating to me. The psychology part is very fascinating. And so, but all of that stuff, if I can take any of the stuff and it makes me think about something differently, and I can act in a different way, or have a new thought when these things come up, whatever it may be, then I'm going to become a better person, and the people around me become better if I become better. However, I can't just keep all of my learning to myself, which is why I believe that, back to the biggest return on your investment, when you educate yourself, one of the best ways to learn is to share it with other people and to teach other people. So if you're teaching others what you're learning, then you're expanding your influence, for one thing, your circle of influence, which are the things that we have control over. And you get to learn it twice. So maybe you read it, or you heard it, or you watched it, and then you share it with somebody else. You get to learn it again, which helps it kind of ingrain in your mind, and it also allows you to process it into easier and easier ways to explain something, which is all just part of your growth. And so if you want to be a leader, a better leader in your family, a better leader in your business, a better leader for your customers, then you have to continue to educate yourself. there are so many facets of business that you can go down too. So there's different ways that you can, like let's say time management. Time management, for instance, might not be a super exciting subject for you to learn, right? And maybe you don't feel like you need it. Maybe like you're so busy, I'm getting so much done every day that I don't need time management. Well, we can always get better. And so if that subject, for instance, does not interest you, or you can't get excited about learning something about it, well, just look up time management time management of the super successful, or the super wealthy, or the most time management, most successful business owners time management. Search something like that. And if you find a little article, just read the first couple paragraphs. Once you find an article that really sparks your interest, then you're going to become way more interested in that subject. And so that's one way to get yourself interested if you're not quite interested in that particular subject. See, that's something I just learned a couple days ago on a YouTube video. And so I just shared it with you, and I get to learn it twice. So I thought that was a great idea on certain subjects that you might not get excited about. So what is it that gets you excited? What are you curious about? Because it doesn't matter what it is. It's going to serve you learning more about it. Now, one thing that gets me when it comes to business owners is, you're already, especially HVAC business owners or electricians or plumbers, is like you're really great at your job. And maybe you started a business and you created a job for yourself. And you've got this job where you go and fix toilets, and you replace sewer lines, or you fix air conditioners and install air conditioners, or you replace electrical panels. Whatever it is that you do, you're probably really great at it. And so when it comes to investing in your education, a lot of people, they immediately go learning more about replacing an electrical panel, or more about the technical side of the HVAC industry. But then again, they want to grow their business. So the question becomes, what's more important to you? Do you want to grow the business, or do you just want to learn more and more about what you're already great at? And so this idea, and what this is like a collection of skills. You have to collect more and more skills to become a business leader, to be better at growing a business. It's all these skills that go into it, which includes time management, which includes communication, which includes the financial side of your company, which includes sales. So all of these things, leadership, all of these things, we need to constantly be collecting skills to increase our production, our capacity, our bank accounts, our time off, our freedom. Like, if we're not constantly introducing more skills and building skills in our repertoire, then there's business owners out there that can't hardly use a computer. Like, you've got to learn. You got to learn. There's really nothing. You can't really screw it up. Like, just get online and start learning. That way you can, start making your own Facebook posts, and the little things that can impact your business in a dramatic way without costing anything. Like, you've got to increase your skills. It doesn't matter what they are. And we always tell people, just GTS. I learned that from my coach. Google that shit. Whatever it is, Google it. There'll be a YouTube video that pops up that's going to teach you how to do it. And then once you learn that, you could teach somebody else. So you get to learn it twice. So we've got to constantly be upgrading our skills, constant, never-ending improvement, and that's what's going to make you successful. And you've got to really be curious and interested in it, and in becoming that person that you were born to be. You know, I think that we all want more of something in life, and whatever that something is, we've got to develop skills, collect skills, so we can improve that area. Because one thing's for sure, nothing changes if nothing changes. So if you don't change the thing that you want to improve, it's not going to change. And things stay the same, and you keep getting the same crappy results that you're not happy with, that's making you miserable. You know, maybe you're working too many hours. Maybe you can't find good help. Maybe you keep sabotaging yourself, self-sabotage. Like, you get to a certain level, you've heard of like the financial thermostat, right? If your financial thermostat's 75, well, if you get up to 85, you'll start self-sabotaging to bring yourself back down to what you're comfortable with. It's like people who win the lottery. You know, half the people that win the lottery and hit it huge, more than half, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's probably 80%, are actually in worse condition 5-10 years later, because they didn't change themselves. Money doesn't change you. Like, you have to change and understand. You know, they didn't learn how to manage their money. That's what it boils down to. They didn't learn about how to invest it or how to. So whatever it is for you, CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. Continue to increase your skills, and you'll become better for it. And trust me, even though you don't see those immediate changes, over time, you will see them, and they will make a drastic impact on your life 10 years from now. Tony Robbins said that, you know, people overestimate what they can do in a year, and they underestimate what they can do in 10 years, in a decade. So the time will pass anyways. You might as well be making steps towards getting what you want and designing the life that you want, versus sitting around complaining, blaming, excuse making for the things that aren't going right in your life, and you want them to change, but you're not going to do anything about it. So anyhow, guys, I hope you like this talk. I'm going to do a lot more of these. There's a ton of knowledge that I'll be sharing with you, and I hope that you can. One of the things that you can always improve is your attention span and your focus. So it could be that we live in a distracted world, and if you cannot focus on a video like this that's 17, 20 minutes long, then you're going to struggle with everything, because you're not going to have that attention span to stay long enough to learn something. So be sure to expand that. You know, that's a skill. That's one of the skills. That could be the first skill that you need to develop. So I hope that you stayed on all the way through this. But if you didn't, then you're not even going to know. And so best of luck to you. So the people that I'm interested in working with in HMC are people who will stick with this all the way to the end and listen and actually try to take something from it and use it. Use it today. And always try to share things that you can take from these videos and go implement them into your business. So we'll talk soon. Love you guys. Go make money.